Welcome back to Junior Cycle Business Studies, and today I'm going to just run through a quick analysed cash book and personal banking question, and this one is taken from the 2018 higher level paper 1 question 5, okay, and that's where you'll find it. Okay, so in this question you're asked to write up an analysed cash book. It says Michael O'Connor uses an analysed cash book to keep a record of his household accounts. He has no bank account. Prepare the analysed cash book of Michael O'Connor for the month of May using the details below. Note, use the following money column headings. So the first thing I'm going to do is to put on my title. And everybody, don't forget to put on your title. It's very worthwhile because it's worth anywhere between, I suppose, 1 and 3 marks. Usually 3 marks. If my memory serves me correctly, it was 3 marks last year. Okay. And again, neatness is very important. So rulers and putting on your titles and your column headings as neatly as possible. So my title is going to be Analysed Cash Book of Michael O'Connor. Okay. And the question says use the following column headings. Okay, so on the DR side, I'm going to have date, details, and then I'm going to have cash, wages, and other. And on my credit side, I'm going to have date, details, and cash, groceries, light and heat, rent, and other. Cash, groceries, L and H will do for light and heat, rent, and other. Okay, so let's start on our debit side. So we can see that the first item that we have is our opening cash balance. So on the 1st of the 5th, my apologies, the very first thing that we should do in our analysed cash book is always put on the date, the year that we're talking about, okay? And this is actually worth 1 mark, very, very important. I nearly forgot there myself. Okay, so 2018. Okay, so on the 1st of the 5th, we have balance brought down from the previous month, and it is 1,160. Okay, and we got that from the opening cash balance, 1,160. Okay, so this is going to be CR received, DR paid, CR paid, CR paid, CR groceries, credit side, gas bill, credit side, received, debit side, paid gym bill, credit side, paid phone bill, credit side, groceries, credit side, and lot of win is actually money coming in, so that's going to be the debit side. Okay, so the next one we have on money coming in is the debit side on the 7th of May, 7th of the 5th, wages, and the wages are 780. Okay, so that goes into our cash column, but you also must put it into your wages column. The next one we have on the debit side, again, wages, 21st of May. And again, it's 780, 780. Okay, and the final input that we have on the debit side of our analysed cash book is the 30th of May lotto win. So it's going to be 30th of the 5th lotto win. And Michael won €25 in the lotto. And we'll put that into our other column. Okay, so that's our debit side done. Onto our credit side. So the first entry we have here is the 5th of the 5th. We have groceries. And that figure is 280 in cash and 280 in groceries. The next one we have is our electricity bill. So the 11th of the 5th, electricity, 125. And this can go into light and heat and our cash. Okay, the next one we have is the 12th of May. We have entertainment. And this is €70. And I suppose entertainment doesn't have its own heading here, so it can go into other. Okay, the next one we have here is the 15th of May, 15th of the 5th. We have rent, and rent is 440. And rent has its own column, so we'll put it in there, 440. The next item we have are groceries on the 16th of the 5th. Groceries were 290. Groceries has its own column, so we put it in there and take it off. 18th of May, we have the gas. Now gas we know will come under light and heat, so the gas bill was 70. We have the wages put in already. We have the gym bill on the 23rd of May. And this is going to be 55. Now the gym doesn't have its own heading, so it can go underneath other. Okay. On the 25th of May, we have phone bill. And the phone bill was 100. And the phone bill again doesn't have its own heading, so we can put it underneath other. Okay. On the 29th of May, coming towards the end of the month, again Michael bought groceries, and it was 320, and groceries has its own heading, so we put it in there. So we've the phone bill, we've lotto win, and we've groceries all ticked off. Okay, and that should be every item ticked off. Okay, so then comes the fun part. We need to total up all our columns, and we need to balance our analysed cash book. Now, rule of thumb, never draw your total line right up close underneath the last figure. Always skip a line, because we need to leave room to enter our balance. Okay, so single line on top, double line on the bottom. And on the opposite side, on the debit side, I want you to do the exact same. Make sure that the lines are on the same line all the way across. I don't want to see a total line up here and a double line. Do them straight line across. Use your ruler to guide you. Nice and neat. Single line on top, double line on the bottom. Okay, so now make sure that you have your calculator nice and handy, and the first thing we need to do is to total up our cash columns. So 1160 plus 780 plus 780 plus 25 equals 2,745. Now I'm not going to rush ahead and put it in here yet. I'm just going to jot it up here, 2,745. I'm going to come over to my credit side and I'm going to total up my cash column. So 280 plus 125 plus 70 plus 440 plus 290 plus 70 plus 55 plus 100 plus 320 equals 1,750. And I'm just going to put this up here somewhere for my own use. So we can see that after totaling our cash columns, the debit side is the bigger side. And the rule of the analysed cash book is to always put the bigger figure in both sides. 2,745 in the debit, 2,745 in the credit. And on the last day of May, which is, let me see, the 31st of May, we have balance, carry down. So we want to find this figure that goes in here, so that we know all of these figures plus this figure will give us 2,745, which will balance our account. So this, all of these figures plus this equals this. So the way I'm going to do this is 2,745, the figure from our debit side, minus the figure from our credit side, 1750 equals 995. Okay, and the final thing to do for our analysed cash book is to bring it down to the start of the following month. So the 1st of the 6th, 2018, balance brought down from up above, and we know that it's going to be 995 from over here. Okay. Now, part B of this question says that Michael is returning to education as a mature student in September and is eligible for an educational grant from the government. He asked his younger sister, who is studying business studies, for advice on holding a bank account. What answers should his sisters give to the following questions? So part 1, I'm just going to do them down here for handiness sake. So part 1. State 3 requirements that must be satisfied when opening a bank account. Okay, so the first requirement you must have is that you must have proof of address from a utility bill or I suppose any statement from the Revenue Commissioner. Okay, so the next, they're asking you for 3 requirements. You must have proof of identity. I'm just going to write ID for short, and this must be in the form of a passport or a driving license. Okay, and the third piece of, I suppose, the third requirement that you must have for opening a bank account is your PPSN number, PPSN, and that stands for Personal Public Service Number. Okay, so Personal Public Service Number, and each of us have one of those when we are born. Okay, so they are the 3 requirements that one must have when opening a bank account. Okay, part 2 asks you to outline 2 differences between a current account and a deposit account. Okay, so part 2. Okay, so the first difference between a current account and a deposit account is that a current account usually has an overdraft facility, but a deposit account does not. Okay. The second thing, I suppose, it says outline 2 differences, so make sure to have 2 and not just 1, is that a checkbook is usually issued with a current account but not with a deposit account. Okay, so moving on to part 3 of part B of question 5. It says to state and explain how Michael's education grant would transfer into his bank account. Okay, and the key word here, I suppose, would be transfer. Okay, and in this day and age, we should know that a credit transfer is the only way that this may happen. Okay, so your answer here is credit transfer. Now, I suppose it's not enough just to write the word credit transfer. You might get 2 of the 4 marks going for that, but in order to get the following marks, the following 2 marks, you must explain what a credit transfer is. Okay, so his grant will be transferred directly into his account by the department which pays the grant. Okay, and I suppose that we know now that in this day and age the department that pays the grants for people going back into third level education are called SUSI, and that will be the group that you will contact for your educational grant going to college as well. Okay, and part 4 of this says that Michael's analysed cash book shows the following 3 household bills: monthly rent, groceries and electricity. Explain one different method Michael might use for each of these bills using his new bank account. Okay, so for his monthly rent, we can assume that this is going to be the same figure every month. Okay, so he might use something like a standing order. Okay, and now it's not enough just to write standing order. We must explain what a standing order is. So this is an instruction to the bank to pay a fixed amount directly out of his current account at regular intervals to that account of the third party. Basically, a standing order is an instruction by the bank to pay a fixed amount directly out of his current account at regular intervals to the account of the person receiving the rent. Okay. In order to pay his groceries, okay, so his groceries might be paid by